This is the Universal Wrestling Podcast. Inside the ring, outside the ring, it's all here.
We're talking about the greatest sport of all, professional wrestling.
Come on! And now, here's Nick and Keith.
Keith, 2023 was a good year. It's 2024. What are we doing? We're going to talk about 2024 predictions in the world of wrestling. It doesn't have to be just WWE. It doesn't have to be AEW, Impact, NWA, New Japan Pro Wrestling. It is the world of professional wrestling. Now, Keith, please don't bore the audience with MJF is going to sign with AEW or Carmelo Hayes is going to be a champion. That's going to happen. We know that. Keith, doesn't have to be a bold prediction, but give me a prediction. What do you got here for 2024?
So I'm going to start out with the bold one that I actually don't even think is that bold, but I think some people are going to think is bold. I'm going to stop saying bold. That was a lot of bolds all in a row. But either way, Roman is not going to drop the title at Mania.
Believe that.
Wow.
Sorry, everyone. So it's been a thing. I think I mentioned on the last stream we did, or a stream before. I don't remember, one of our videos. Maybe it was recently. But so as of, I believe it's as of like SummerSlam of this coming year, Roman will only be like 60 days away from eclipsing Hogan's longest everything. So, or Hogan's longest reign. So with these long title reigns and all, and like Hogan not being necessarily like the most, public figure they want to hang around all the time and stuff.
Correct. Yep.
I feel like they might do it again. I feel like we might not have the story finished for Cody until Mania 41. I don't agree with this being a thing, but I do think it's going to be a thing. I think WrestleMania 40 is where you end it. That gives the moment. It's everything. But just knowing the numbers and everything like that, I feel like there's a really strong chance Roman doesn't drop it again this year, and we push this bloodline storyline along, kicking and screaming.
Yeah, and that is a bold prediction because I don't know who in their right mind is saying that Roman's going to win at WrestleMania 40. I mean, again. Finish the story, the memes, everything. It's just, then again, Tripp's is at the helm. I mean, what Cody did was intentional. Did it on purpose. He did it with AEW. It just, throne, the whole thing, the hammer, that was intentional.
Absolutely. And I think part of like what like really leads me to believe this, aside from like the numbers with Hogan's reign and all that kind of stuff, is it's just like, with knowing that that's something that's like within reach really at this point this year, like, why not really? Like I understand WrestleMania 40, that's a good round number. That's a good way to end something or other that way or whatever. But like, I don't know, Cody coming in and just winning it last year, that was never good. That was a lot of us, myself included, like wanted it to be the move, even though I predicted for our predictions at that time, I was like, it's not going to happen. It's Roman's going to retain again. But like, to me, the best scenario that could have happened, and the best way to benefit so many people out of WrestleMania's main event last year, 39, is Cody wins. Immediately after he wins, Theory comes out and cashes in and takes it from Cody.
Oh, yeah.
That would have been perfect because it's Cody gets the moment, the big win over Roman. He beat Roman. He has that. Nothing can take that away from him. And then Theory gets like a nuclear bomb in the sun heat for coming and snatching that away from him after needing to finish the story and the tear-filled promos and everything. That would have been everything. If they had done that, we would not have been talking about Theory the way we've been talking about Theory for the past like 6 months. No chance. It would have been a completely different story altogether. Wouldn't be a thing. I don't see them doing that with Priest. Also, Priest doesn't need that heat. No. Priest can cash in on whoever whenever he wants to, and it'll be fine. But yeah, getting off topic with stuff. Bold prediction: Roman's not dropping it this year.
Yeah.
What do you got? What's yours? Bold or not? What do you got?
Oh baby, Tyler Bate wins every title in the WWE.
Shit.
Before December 31st, 2024. No, I'm just kidding.
Even the women's tags?
Yeah, I'm a big Bate fan. It's not going to happen. I just want him to be on the main roster at that point.
Oh yeah.
That's my prediction. But no, I'm going to go with a maybe not so, maybe obvious one. I don't know. But Ricky Starks signs with the WWE.
The revolution is
I know
televised.
people think, you know what, he just isn't that type of guy. You look at Omega, you look at the Bucks, you look at AEW, MJF. You look at guys like that. They're not really WWE,
Yeah.
made. They're not really. They wouldn't be a WWE superstar when you think of superstars. You don't think of guys like that. You think of The Rock. You think of Cena. You think of blah blah blah, more entertaining aspect. But for Ricky, Cody's there, and Jade, trained under Cody, and I just think Cody kind of has that pull, and I just think Ricky, I don't want to say he's being wasted because he's the champion, the tag, it is what it is. He's there, he's being, he's in the spotlight. He is on almost every other Dynamite or a Collision or something like that. I just want to see it. I'm a big Starks fan. I was joking around
absolutely.
with Bate, but if I had to go one-on-one, it's probably Starks a little more than Bate.
Yeah.
Starks, I don't want to say he's going to win a title, but just to see him in the WWE, I think it shows us that it's a new regime.
Yeah.
I think it shows us that, okay, you don't have to be 6'8". You don't have to have muscles on muscles on muscles. Trips is at the helm, and someone like Ricky is a valuable asset. And I think he is. I think on the mic, I think in the ring, I don't think there's anything he can't do. To see that would be cool. Again, is it a bold prediction? Is it something that, we're saying right now, the rumors are running rampant with what is Ricky doing? Oh my God, Cody's his best friend. He's going to go there. MJF is his best friend. He's going to go there. The guy that, what's his face? The trainer, he just left AEW. QT. He's going to go to WWE. I just think, it makes sense. It makes sense. God damn it.
Totally does. I would love that because you really nailed it there with it. I didn't actually think of that one. I hadn't thought of that one, but I would love for that to happen. Because like I was saying, you kind of nailed it where it's like, MJF's going to WWE and like, yeah, and if that happens, he's going to be done for because he can't be the same. It's not any disrespect toward him at all. But he can't be the character that he is in WWE. He can't, he can't cut the same promos in WWE that he can in AEW. And it's like you were saying, you can say that with a lot of guys. Kenny, I love Kenny Omega. Kenny Omega might be the best in the world, in my opinion, still, even though he's slowing down and hurt and everything like that. It's not going to work in WWE for him.
No.
Because he can't wrestle that same style that he wrestles here.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of I was terrified when those rumors were going around that Ospreay was going to sign with WWE. I was like, that's going to be
signing with TNA awful. Impact.
That's fine. That would be fine.
Yeah.
Send them there. Let them really raise their stock more. Fine with me.
Yeah.
Him in WWE would have been trash. Ricky, though, Ricky does fit. Ricky can be everything he is and would fit right into that style. Ricky's awesome. I remember seeing him when NWA Power first started again. As that was the only time I saw him. I still thought he was amazing in the ring, but early on his character was crap. It was such white meat baby face. I was like, this needs work. And then he worked on it, and he's amazing. I would love to see him show up in the Fed. That'd be awesome. Great call.
Yeah. First time I ever remember was NWA. Was in front of the podium, the
little sound stage, like
the podium. Jesus, the podium, and just seeing him go at it, man. Cool. Keith, give it to us. What do you got? Doesn't have to be a bold prediction, just something. Is it Gunther? Is it the Duder Gable? What do we got here?
So I just did a WWE one. I'll go to one of my AEW ones, kind of switch back and forth. I only have a couple AEW ones, and it kind of ties into what you were just saying anyway. So I feel like at some point this year, I don't know when, but there is going to be mass releases from AEW like WWE does from time to time.
I'm serious. I'm not going to sip it.
There's a lot of contracts coming up. Andrade is basically back in WWE at this point. I'm pretty sure Malachi Black's is coming up pretty soon.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of dudes that have contracts coming up soon anyway.
5 years.
And there's also just with because of kind of how Tony handled things early on, and it's not faulting him, but it was never a great business idea necessarily. But when they first started, it was just kind of like, let's sign up everybody. Let's sign everyone that we possibly can. And like, now you're getting to the point that it's like, all right, like, I love the Dark Order. I have from day one, but like, where have they been on TV? Like, oh, cool, they have being the Dark Order now. They took over being the Elite. Like, doesn't do it for me. I don't want that. Now, granted, I don't think the Dark Order is another one of those, like we were just talking about. Like, Dark Order is not going to really work out too well in WWE. So I don't necessarily want them to go there, but like, they're just getting to this point where they have a very, very bloated roster, even with having Ring of Honor, because nobody watches Ring of Honor really, from what it sounds like. So like, it's just, I feel like it's just going to be a thing that happens. And like, really what like ticked me off onto this to like make this like prediction at all, bold or not, whatever you want to call it. But like, what was it? A couple months, like a month or two ago, there was like this report that like AEW was essentially going to lose like $11 million or something on the year with like just venue bookings and this and that and the other and everything because of whatever. And like the way they were talking about it was just like, well, that's like kind of a thing of like a cost of doing business. And it's like not uncommon for bigger promotions to do things like that and whatever. And it's like, yeah, it's not, but that's still not a sustainable thing. And you know, one of the easiest ways to save money is to cut a roster of dudes that you're not using and women that you're not using. Where's Britt Baker been? Where's Britt Baker? Like, you know, she's under contract, still being paid, and awesome. I'm glad she is, but like, you know, like there's just going to be, I just feel like it's coming. I feel like
something
at some point this year, there's going to be, it's either going to be like a mass set of releases, or it's going to be a thing where it's just like, it's going to be this huge chunk of people. Cause like Tony doesn't really release people all that often, but it's going to be a mass exodus from there of some kind, where it's going to be a bunch of people who started all at similar times. Their contract's going to expire, and Tony's just going to be like, nah.
Yeah.
You know, like I was rattling off before, just people that were coming to the top of my head. Griff Garrison, I think he might already be gone, but like, you know, the Dark Order guys, like all of them probably love Johnny Hungy, but like he's probably going.
Hungy.
You know, Hobbs potentially. I mean, he's in with Don Callis, but like, what's he really doing? You know?
Yeah, exactly.
I feel like Wardlow's on a last string, even with the devil stuff now. Like, you know, like just there's so much, so much like bloat there, and like especially for guys like your Andrade, who like now Triple H is back in charge. Like, yeah, I'm trying to go back there because he liked me. I can almost. It wouldn't be a prediction, but if Keith Lee's contract is up this year, he's probably going back. Yeah. Like Triple H loved Keith Lee, so if Keith Lee's contract is up this year, Keith Lee is going back to WWE.
Yeah, and
tying that into my prediction here.
But Tony brought that up too at the press conference, that it's 5 years of AEW, most contracts, not most, maybe some of the contracts are going to be up, so it's just part of business. That's what he said. So yeah. All right, here we go.
Last thing I said, like I'm not predicting this like it's like a horrible thing. You never want to see anyone lose their job, but like I just feel like it's a thing that like it's coming. It's a swelling that's about to pop. So but yes, you're next. Go for it.
Yeah, buddy. Omos will become your world heavyweight champion. He will defeat Roman Reigns at WrestleMania 40. No,
you're the worst.
Not at all.
No. Worst.
No. You know what? I'm going to say this. Alexa Bliss is going to have a resurgence, and she's going to dominate 2024. She's been out. Yep, she was on maternity leave. It seems like she's been on maternity leave for a long time. It seems like for the past few years, it just didn't make sense with Bray, or she was hurt, or something. Something didn't add up. And it's like you go back and you watch her, I don't want to say prime, but when she, wrestled Nia Jax at WrestleMania. She made Nia look good. Nia's I'm never going to say that. I know there's a lot of trolls out there that say Nia sucks. I think she's great. Or she's good. How about that? Okay. You happy with that? She's good. But Bliss made her look amazing at WrestleMania. And Bliss is really somebody that you can say, yeah, she's a Triple H girl, someone that you can say, okay, look what she did in NXT. She took what she was given and she, did very well. She's going to come back. I know it's not a bold prediction, but I've always liked Bliss. I liked her in ring, maybe not so much on the mic, but she can back it up in ring. And I think it's time. We always talk about the 4 horsewomen, Sasha's not there, so I don't know if we'll ever see that.
Slot in Alexa, even though Alexa and Sasha apparently hated each other.
Yeah.
But yeah,
But to have
I'm with
someone
that.
like that from the, the original, not the original with the coaches and all that, but the original black and gold brand of NXT.
yeah.
When you think of that, you think of Bliss. When you think of that, you think of, Sasha, you think of Bailey. Bliss, it's her time. She's been out of action for a while. She's going to come back and she's going to kick ass. She could beat Rhea. I don't know. I just want to see her do well. So that's one of my predictions, to see her kick ass. What do you got, Keith? Give it to me.
I love that one. Alexa Bliss, bring her back. Bring them all back. Carmella too, even though she's whatever.
Yeah.
I'll stick on the theme of the women here.
Yeah, buddy.
Ooh, which one? Not
Let's
that
do
one.
it.
Not so much bold, but I would love to see it happen. I think we get a women's.
I ain't the lady to mess with.
I love it.
We get a women's mid-card title. I think not necessarily having to lose the women's tag titles. It's a different rant. I'm not going to go into all that. Not necessarily needing to lose those. They're starting to get those kind of back on track a little bit, and that's fine.
Yeah.
I think we need like a women's mid-card title, though. Just one. I don't need a women's intercontinental and a women's U.S. title or something. It doesn't have to be called either one of those either.
Yeah.
They probably can't use international title because it's an AEW thing, but whatever. Women's TV title. Boom. And then that makes it easy to you float back and forth between Raw and SmackDown, even showing up on NXT. It can be defended by anybody. Anybody can win it. And I think it would I think it gives a great thing to get the women on TV more, to show more of them off. And it's a really good one to be able to spotlight people too. I'm not saying hot potato it around like a 24/7 title or anything, but you can have it be, Bailey wins it. Bailey goes around to defend it. Bailey goes to NXT and goes against Tiffy Stratz. Tiffy Stratz beats Bailey. Great. Now Tiffy Stratz goes to SmackDown and has a couple matches against her, this person, that person, the other person. Goes to Raw, has a couple matches there. Goes back to SmackDown. Bailey beats her again, so then Tiffy Stratz has to get back down to NXT because maybe she wasn't ready for the big lights.
Yeah.
It just gives you a way to have that testing ground, of you can have this bigger star hold this title, go down to NXT, let them do their thing there. And it just gives you something to watch. It gives you more of a reason to book the women. And it's not just they're either in the world title picture, having an internal struggle in their faction, or they're a tag team. Because that's all any of them have right now.
I love it. And I think that makes so much sense, just because with the women's tag titles, it's so hard to book. First they got to find a tag team that's good enough to hold the titles.
And you got to find them up.
Yeah, and not break them up or not have an injury. I mean, it's just I don't know, one thing after the other. With the mid-card title, it makes sense because there's so many people that can compete, so many women that can compete, and it makes sense. I mean, look what the United States Championship isn't a great example because it's held by Logan Paul, but something like an IC title where it's damn, Gunther is the man.
It's something that would just help bolster it all around because
and it's
then
easy.
It's an easy fix. Where it's because you have this mid-card title that you can start slotting out some of your randoms in that aren't doing certain things, then we don't have to have challenging for the tag team belts tonight is Candice LeRae and Ivy Nile because they're a team now. What? No,
yeah, exactly.
We can have established teams. We can have Kaden Carter and Katana Chance holding now. Keep building now that they don't have the titles. Keep building Chelsea and Piper as a duo. Love it. Keep it going. Bring back Mandy Rose. Reunite Toxic Attraction. Bring them to the main roster.
Yeah.
Gigi and JC can go after them. Establish your teams, because then that's another one. If you do go with that was another one of my predictions anyway, just sliding that in. Mandy comes back. We reunite Toxic Attraction. We bring them to the main roster. Mandy goes after the mid-card title. Gigi and JC can go after the tag titles. Now we have this. Then you can make a storyline then where they all have gold. It's this faction draped in gold that isn't messing with anything that's going on with your world title picture. But they can still go toward it. Mandy can start saying stuff like, "Oh, well, I was good enough for this. I can definitely go get that." Wonderful. Build. Keep building. Move it. It would be so good.
I love it. Putting you on the spot here, Keith.
Yeah.
What would you call the title? The Dudette?
Yeah. The Dudette Award. No, I mean, I would probably go with the WWE Women's Television Champion.
Yeah. Makes sense.
To make it something easier to float.
Yeah.
Because we can't have international or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Let's do it, man. I got the
Yeah.
next one.
Do it.
Andrade will return to the WWE. No, not at all. I think we're sleeping on this guy. I mean, I don't know what they're thinking about him, but he's still down in NXT, and I think Braun Breaker's he just has it. He's great on the mic. He's great in the ring. He makes that spear believable. He has the best spear, if that's a prediction or not, or bold, whatever. But just to see him come up and win a title, again, who's holding the titles? You got Roman, you got Logan, you got Gunther. It doesn't make sense, but I think it's his time, man. I think it's 2024 is Braun Breaker's time, and you can just work the angles. He has it in his blood. You don't need to see his father. You don't need to see his Uncle Scott, but it's just there's something there that maybe we don't see. But regardless of politics, he's ready to come up.
Oh yeah, he's been ready. I'm surprised he isn't up already.
Yeah,
honestly, I thought he was going to be called up a while ago.
yeah.
But
Let's hear it, brother.
yeah,
What do you got?
So I got one last one here, just to kind of get from this side here. Maybe bold, maybe not that bold for a lot of people. But before the end of 2024, Swerve will win the AEW World Title.
Yes.
Give
it to me.
If they are smart at all, if they have any ounce of intelligence in the collective body of booking at AEW, Swerve will win the world title. They, going back to the whole thing of, the bloated roster, not knowing what to do sometimes and stuff, one thing AEW has a kind of a bad habit of is, not necessarily striking when the iron's hot, or not striking fast enough when it's hot enough, too. Swerve is, untouchable right now. People don't he's such a heel. He broke into Hangman Page's house and creepily talked to his infant son in a crib. That's holy crap, dark heel. And people still don't want to boo him. They still cheered the crap out of him for the Texas Death Match and the stuff he puts on. The guy is phenomenal. Don't be stupid. Put the title on him. They're gonna sell. He's gonna sell. He's gonna sell as a champion no matter what. People love him. They're going to love to see him as a champion. They're going to love to hear him talk. They're going to love to see him turn back everyone, this, that, and the other. I don't want Joe's reign to end so quick right now. I don't want it to happen super soon. But keep him hot. Give him the belt. Watch the money flow in. Because then you also, not that it's about politics, and it's not all about this at all, but you also then get to do that. This is the first African-American AEW champion to hold a world. The first world title holding champion we have, and you're just it makes too much sense that it has to happen while he's popping off like he is.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And I think it's I don't want to say coincidental, but it's perfect timing. Samoa Joe, we love him for who he is, but he's not going to be a world champion for a long time. What do? I mean, the guy that everybody wanted to win the Continental Classic, you got to do it. You got to give it to Swerve. Let's do some quick hitters here.
Yeah,
you ready?
Sure. Do it. Yeah.
Let's see. Cena will have his final match in 2024.
Ooh.
Ava Johnson will finally show up on the main roster. She will be brought up. Ava. Oh.
And shut your damn mouth.
Ava Rain.
Is she Ava Rain? I don't even know if she's Ava Rain anymore. She might just be.
I don't
Ava.
know, but she's the goddamn
GM
Dwayne's daughter will finally be brought up to the main roster and be some kind of manager. I don't know what they're doing.
Yeah.
What do you got? Keep it going. Let's do the obvious ones.
She needs work. That's all it is.
Let's hit some of the obvious ones.
Yeah.
Creed's brothers become tag team champions
without question. That's happening sooner rather than later.
Andrade will, appear in WWE.
He's coming back. That's happening sooner rather than later. I'll go Mello, Dragunov, Tiffy Stratz, Breaker, and Blair Davenport probably are all getting called up. Maybe not Blair Davenport, but those other four, they'll be up by the end of the year, without question.
Judgment Day may break up. Gunter may win the title. Come on, buddy.
Gunter.
That was Berlin.
That was one I didn't want to make myself too basic with it. But yeah, I think this year maybe we see my Gunther dream scenario where,
Yeah.
depending on how things go with the World Heavyweight title picture, I think Gunther's just going to hold the IC title for a while. At a certain point, he's just going to do it. He's going to relinquish that, be like, I've done everything I can here. I'm above this belt now. I'm coming for you, insert heavyweight champion title, whoever's name that is. Drew, Punk, still Seth, whatever. And so he'll go for it, and he'll win it too. Whenever he decides to do it, he'll win that one.
Good friend of the podcast, Nick Aldis, will have his first WWE match. Yeah, buddy. This is a weird one, and I thought about it today. Pat McAfee will be fired from ESPN and be a full-time superstar with the WWE. I mean, what Rogers said a couple of weeks last week about Jimmy Kimmel being on Epstein's list, I don't think ESPN wants to see that on their television. So McAfee, it's stupid. I know.
No, that's not stupid at all. I can definitely see that happening. Especially now, college football's about to end. So, like, he's going to be done with that stuff anyway because college football's almost over. So I could definitely see them just being like, weird stuff being said. We're going to just, we're sorry. Go ahead. Move on, Pat. Sorry.
What do you got? Give me something. One more thing and let's end the show.
Hall of Fame this year is going to be Batista, Heyman. Who's the dead one? I'm trying to think. I had this all earlier. It just all flew out of my head. Because you get Batista as like the newer legend kind of guy. You get Heyman as the manager. Tag team will maybe be... I feel like the Hall of Fame in general is going to be very ECW-centric. Besides Batista and the dead one. I can't think of a good dead one, though, because none of the dead ECW wrestlers are going into the Hall of Fame. Sorry, Axel Rotten.
No, that's
Dudley's
good.
are already in. No,
Dudley's are in. Yep. I can't help you there.
Public Enemy, but that's not a thing. But now, Heyman.
What about Bianca turning heel?
The definite ones, we will definitely see Batista and Heyman going to the Hall of Fame this year in Philly.
I love it. You know what we need to do? God damn it, it's been too long. Jim Johnson going to the Hall of Fame. I mean,
absolutely.
DX, Stone Cold.
I don't know how that's not a thing. Great call. Absolutely. Jim Johnson on the list this year. Has to be. Cyndi Lauper. Cyndi Lauper is the celebrity one. She has to. I hate every year that passes that doesn't happen. It makes zero sense.
I love it.
Different rant, different day.
This has been the UW Podcast, the Universal Wrestling Podcast. Keith, give the people what they want. How can they find you?
They can find me on X at Keith of the Ring. You can find me on TikTok at Keith of the Ring. And you can also find me on Instagram at _Keith of the Ring. Not on Instagram as much, but I'm there.
Sir, the Tiki-Talk. You can find us on X at the UWPod, Instagram at UWPodcast. Keith, we have a fancy website, uwpod.com. Book it, baby. Have a good one. Peace.